Everything you think you know about Frankenstein is probably wrong. The monster isn't named Frankenstein. He doesn't have bolts in his neck. He's not a grunting, mindless brute. In fact, the real story, written by an 18-year-old girl in 1818, is way more disturbing, tragic, and relevant than any movie ever showed you. This is the story of Frankenstein. The actual story. And it hits different. What's up, everyone? Today we're breaking down one of the most misunderstood classics in literature, Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley when she was just 18 years old. Fun fact, she wrote this during a ghost story competition with her friends on a stormy night in 1816. One of those friends was Lord Byron, one of the most famous poets ever. And this teenager wrote a story that outlasted all of theirs. But here's the thing, Hollywood completely butchered this story. The real book is darker, smarter, and way more tragic than the movies. So let's break down what actually happens in Frankenstein, why it matters, and why this 200-year-old book is eerily relevant today. Our story starts with Victor Frankenstein, not the monster, the scientist. He's a brilliant young guy from Switzerland who becomes obsessed with one question. Can we conquer death? Victor goes to university and becomes consumed by this idea. He studies chemistry, biology, anatomy, everything about how life works. And then he gets this wild idea. What if I could create life from scratch? So Victor starts experimenting. And by experimenting, I mean he's going to graveyards, dissecting rooms, slaughterhouses, collecting body parts. For months, he's locked in his apartment, barely eating, barely sleeping, assembling this creature. Think of it like the darkest, most twisted science project ever. The book describes him getting so obsessed that he becomes sick, exhausted, completely isolated. His friends worry about him. His family writes letters he doesn't answer. But Victor doesn't care. He's about to do something no human has ever done. And then, on a dark, stormy November night, it works. The creature opens its eyes. Here's where the story gets tragic. Victor succeeds. He creates life. The creature is alive. But the moment it opens its eyes, Victor is hit with instant, overwhelming horror. The book describes the creature as tall, like 8 feet, with yellowish skin stretched tight over muscles and veins. His eyes are watery and yellow. His hair is long and black. He's not the green Frankenstein from movies, he's more like a giant, pale corpse that somehow moves. And Victor's reaction? He runs away. No joke. The guy spends months creating this being, and the second it comes to life, he abandons it completely. Doesn't teach it. Doesn't explain anything. Just leaves. Imagine being born, fully conscious, intelligent, but with no idea what you are or why you exist. That's the creature's reality. He wanders out into the world, completely alone. And here's the thing that movies always miss, the creature isn't violent at first. He's confused and scared, like a lost child. He tries to approach people, hoping for help. And what happens? Everyone who sees him screams and runs away. Some attack him. He's shot at, beaten, driven away from every village. The creature learns something horrible, the world hates him because of how he looks. So he hides. Observes humans from a distance. And here's where it gets interesting. The creature finds a small shed attached to a cottage where a poor family lives, the de Lacys. And for months, he hides there and watches them through a crack in the wall. This is how he learns to be human. He watches them talk, work, eat, love each other. He starts understanding language. He finds some books and teaches himself to read. This creature, abandoned, with no teacher, educates himself to the point where he can speak eloquently and understand philosophy. The books he reads? Paradise Lost, about Satan being cast out, history books about human civilization, and romantic literature. And as he learns about humanity, he starts asking the questions that haunt him. Who am I? Why was I made? Why does everyone hate me? He realizes he's completely alone in the world. No family. No companions. The only one of his kind. Eventually, he decides to reveal himself to the family he's been watching. Maybe they'll accept him if they know he's intelligent and kind? He approaches the blind father when he's alone, thinking if the man can't see him, maybe he won't judge. And for a brief moment, it works. The old man talks to him kindly. But then the rest of the family comes home, sees the creature, and loses their minds. They beat him and drive him away. This is the creature's breaking point. He's tried to be good. He's educated himself. He's helped this family secretly, chopping their wood, leaving them food. And they still reject him with violence. That's when the creature makes a decision that changes everything. If the world won't accept him as good, he'll make them fear him as a monster. The creature's revenge begins immediately. He burns down the cottage and sets out to find his creator, Victor Frankenstein. And when he finds Victor's family, he kills Victor's youngest brother, William. A little kid. Strangled. But it gets worse, an innocent servant named Justine is blamed and executed for the murder. So now Victor carries the guilt of 2 deaths caused by his creation. Eventually, Victor and the creature meet face to face on a glacier in the mountains. And the creature makes his case. I was benevolent and good, misery made me a fiend. Make me happy, and I shall again be virtuous. He tells Victor everything, his suffering, his loneliness, his rejection. And then he makes a demand. Create a female companion for me. Someone who won't reject me. Then I'll disappear forever and leave humanity alone. Victor, feeling guilty, agrees. He starts building a second creature, a female. But halfway through, Victor has a horrible thought. What if they reproduce? What if I unleash a whole race of these beings on the world? So Victor destroys the female creature before completing her. While the creature watches. This is the final betrayal. The creature promises revenge. I will be with you on your wedding night. Victor thinks the creature means he will be killed on his wedding night. So he marries his love, Elizabeth, thinking he's prepared to fight. But the creature doesn't kill Victor. He kills Elizabeth. Because the creature wants Victor to feel what he feels, complete and utter loneliness. After Elizabeth's death, Victor has nothing left but revenge. He chases the creature across Europe, through Russia, and finally into the Arctic. A pursuit that lasts months. Eventually, Victor collapses on an Arctic exploration ship, near death. He tells his entire story to the ship's captain, Robert Walton, which is actually how we hear the story. The whole book is told through letters and flashbacks. Victor dies on that ship, his quest for revenge unfulfilled. But then the creature appears. He stands over Victor's dead body and speaks to Walton. And here's the gut punch, the creature is filled with remorse. He never wanted to be a killer. He was made into a monster by rejection and cruelty. He says he'll go to the furthest point north and burn himself on a funeral pyre. Then he disappears into the Arctic darkness. We never know if he actually does it. The book ends with this haunting ambiguity. Did the creature die? Is he still out there? And who was really the monster? The creature, or the man who created and abandoned him? So why does a 200-year-old book still matter? Because Mary Shelley was asking questions we're still dealing with. What happens when we create something we can't control? We're literally playing with genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, cloning. We're creating things that could outlive us, outsmart us, or turn against us. Do creators have responsibility for their creations? When AI goes wrong, who's responsible? When gene-edited organisms have unintended effects, who pays? What makes someone a monster? The creature in Frankenstein becomes violent because of how he's treated. How much of evil is created by society's cruelty? This book isn't just a horror story. It's a warning about unchecked ambition, the ethics of creation, and the consequences of playing God. An 18-year-old girl wrote this in 1818, and it's more relevant now than ever. That's the power of great literature. So that's the real Frankenstein story. Way darker and more complex than Monster Go Rawr, right? If you've never read it, honestly, go read it. It's surprisingly readable for a 200-year-old book, and it'll blow your mind. Drop a comment, who do you think was the real monster, Victor or the creature? And if you want more deep dives into stories, ideas, and tech that shaped our world, hit that subscribe button.